Hi everyone, we are back with the third episode of Our Voices #Unfiltered. This time, obviously, we are going to talk about examination, stress, and how our students deal with that. And also, what is that we, the adults, can help them to manage the stress levels or to prepare so very well that there is no stress at all. Let's hear from the very own learners of TOS. We have with us.
Hi, my name is Isha Agarwal and I'm a student of class 11.
My name is Avnish Sway, and I'm also a student of class 11.
I'm Ashi and I'm also a student of class 11.
Okay, so now you know what you're going to talk about, right? But with the difference, we are not going to talk about like what should be the plan and how you should be timing everything in terms of subjects and all. My first curiosity, quite a curiosity to know from you all is how are you feeling right now? Yes, exam time.
So our exams are coming up in 2 weeks and I'm a little nervous. I think everyone is because they're coming really close but I'm feeling quite well prepared in some subjects and in some subjects I'm not too confident.
Okay, very well.
I think apart from just one or two subjects, I'm pretty confident this time. I'm not that nervous, and the stress isn't getting to me. So we'll see if that's a good thing or a bad thing.
Good CS. I am very nervous. I have a lot of exams outside of school this year. So I'm trying to prepare both and I think I'm going to mess up math.
Okay. So see, what I'm understanding, you're all nervous, but in a different way. And even the definition of nervousness is different from, what I have gathered from you all. So tell me, what is that which can help you to deal with this nervousness before even this Feb month or January month comes in and you do something like beyond and before these 3 months of stress?
I think for me, the main thing that I like to do is have an idea of what's difficult before the exam starts. And so even when we get like a rough syllabus from the teacher, I like to highlight just what is going to be tough and either set that aside or begin work on that earlier than the rest of my syllabus. So I'll exclusively work on those chapters.
Very nice. Yeah.
I had to prepare a timetable and a schedule. I realize that I'm very good at sticking to the schedule. So when I make the timetable, I don't look at everything as a very huge picture, and I break it down. So I feel like breaking it down into little steps and then starting the studying process is very important for me. So I don't get overwhelmed.
Oh, that's cool. I think all I need is practice because my main issue in the exam is time management. So the more I practice, the more I'm confident about my paper.
Yeah. If I can just, share with the larger, community of students who are writing exam, they've just spoken about study skills. Knowing what you have to study, when you have to study, and how you have to study. I would like to know your comments on that. What are your study skills? Please keep posting, right? And now moving on to the next thing. When you know your style of studies, right? Each one of you know how important it is to make others aware of your learning styles at home and at school.
I feel like at home, the first thing that's really important is to have your parents know how you study because it may be that your parents have studied in their youth and have a notion of studying as sitting for 6 hours non-stop. But maybe that's not how you learn. I personally learn by teaching others the concepts I know, okay, and doing a lot of practice papers. So it's really important for me that my parents know I'm not just doing time pass with my friends on call. I'm actually explaining the concept to them so that they get it and I get it.
That's unique way of doing it. I have not heard of this teaching and then learning, because we believe in this, that that's the best way of learning when you explain it to someone else. But if you're doing it, very well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, concept is really important because the best way is you need to believe what you just learned. If you try to mug it up, it's not going to work, at least in my experience. So what I do is, even if there's no one in front of me, I'm just going to pretend like there is someone, or I'll grab one of my family members and I'll just talk. Whatever it is, I'll teach them the best way I can.
Okay.
And I know they won't get it probably, but it helped me learn a lot in a more efficient way, I would say. Yeah.
Really? Yes.
I think for me, it's studying with a focused friend near me or like on like a call or something helps me a lot because if the person in front of me is focused, I'm forced to study on my own. So just like Isha said, I don't want my parents to think that I'm doing time pass on calls. But I think it helps me study better if there's someone just near me studying too.
Yeah, well, parents, they are not just chit-chatting, they're also studying over the pen, especially late night.
Yes.
Right? We're talking about late nights. You all studying, almost each one of you study at night? I want it. Okay, those are study at night. How do you keep yourselves awake?
So for me, it's just I got the habit during my boards because there's a lot of content to cover and there's a lot more pressure. So my sleep schedule kind of adjusted itself. And then the habit just stuck. I maintain like a bit of focus throughout the day. I can study in the mornings, I can study in the evenings, afternoons. But at night, there's also less movement in the house. There's less movement outside. So it's really easy for me to give full attention to what I'm doing and not get distracted.
That's good. Yes.
I would say I'm the exact opposite. It's not that I study like at 5 or 6 a.m. in the morning. That's also not my thing. But my brain strucks off at 10:30 p.m.
Okay.
I think the best time for me to study is like I wake up around 8:39 a.m. in the morning, and then I start studying during the course of the day when I have a holiday or something. But I guess I've always been raised that way. I have to have my sleep. Without it, I cannot function.
That's your way. What your eyes are my study. Yeah.
I think for me, I can study in the day, but at night, just like Isha said, there's no noise. So it becomes easier to study. During boards, I got a little addicted to energy drinks, but now my mom tried to replace it with ice and water. So I just sip on ice with a straw and then I'm fine studying at night.
Yeah. Talking about energy drinks. Do you want the coffee shots or something like this to just be awake and energized enough to
Rarely.
ready? But
I don't get the taste of like Red Bull or so, but if it's like
it's all newly assisted and was always
Yeah. I drink coffee through the day. Like I like my coffee. For me, it's a taste thing, not a caffeine thing. But when it comes to studying, I've been trying to cut back. But during the exams, I do have like quite a bit of energy drink.
yeah. So then I'll take a cue from here and I would request all the parents. If you know your child is getting used to, not addicted, it's a strong word, getting used to something like energy drinks or, water, coffee, we can condition them to do something like, ice cold water or something and keep sipping it. Or something more nutritious, maybe a activity. Yes, that is also there. Before they start studying, something to do, maybe helping parents to just wrap up the day and then sitting and putting up the tables nicely. That's a good thing. So there's so much to know when we talk about what we need to as adults at home, right? And also as students, because I have understood that you figure out your way of learning, what you want at that time and how would you be studying. Areas of concern in terms of like, I know I need more time for this and this, but not everyone is so very, very planned and aware of this. Anything that you would want to tell your friends, those who are, going to be in class 11, right? Since you all are from class 11, that how can we avoid this last 2-3 months of stress and feeling so worried about exams? Ultimately, it's just a qualifying exam for your next level or choice of career. So what is that one thing you would advise your friends who are going to write class 10 in exam and coming to class 11, that what should they be doing right from the beginning to avoid this anxiety?
I think the first thing is preparing in a timely way. Make sure you're done with your syllabus well before your pre-boards. Don't take your pre-boards lightly either. And then practice, and more practice. And the second thing I'd say is don't ask us, like your seniors, what we did to get those many marks, because very frankly, I don't think any of us remember what we did during our boards. For us, it's like a blur of studying and stressing and just wanting to get through the next paper. Instead, ask us what mistakes we made, because my first and most important mistake was I got so used to recognizing similar questions in my papers that I didn't read the questions entirely in my boards. And when they were tweaked, same concept, just maybe the order of the sides were tweaked or the order of words was tweaked. I wrote the memorized answer and didn't write the answer based on the concept I knew.
I would say that time management is obviously one of the most, if not the most important aspects of this. And when you come to class 11th, I assume since everyone is always so adamant on studying for boards, there has been a pattern set in your mind for like the last 3-4 months maybe about, there's this routine I have to follow. I have to study this much and then I have to do this practice work, whatever. So when you come to 11, that routine kind of gets broken up and you have that feeling in your head that, oh, I'm free now. But you have to rein in that feeling because when you let it fly too much, you suddenly realize that, oh my god, 6 months have gone by, and then you're at the end of your 11th grade, and then you're like, oh my god, there's so much work to catch up on, and why didn't I do this before? So to avoid all these regrets and all these exhaustions of the mind, I think you should start preparing from the beginning of 11th grade.
Yeah. I feel like stress or anxiety, you cannot escape it before an exam. You are bound to feel stressed and you're bound to be scared. But I think giving yourself a reality check before even your pre-boards or your finals is very important. Like just solving like a board question paper even before your pre-boards start so that you understand what you're going to get yourself into. And for 11th, I feel like there's a break between our boards and when 11 starts. And in that way, I think studying is necessary because I didn't study and my dad kept telling me to study because I'll start, escape, like running away from it as soon as 11th starts, and I did. So I think if I was a little more usual in studying in the break, just maybe an hour or half an hour, I wouldn't have stressed so much in 11th about my papers.
So I would just summarize in just one way this conversation, this style of particularly decoding the questions well, right? Decoding your time availability and management, that formula kind of a thing, which is very personal and individual, right? So we cannot not, value time, right? The very important thing, decode the messages which the adults are giving you there, right? They are not just trying to tell you, oh, you're not doing your stuff, do it. They're also kind of saying it from the experiences because we also grew up. We were also students of class 10, 11 in the undergrads and postgrads. So we know what all is required. Of course, the realities are changing, requirements are changing. That is where you have to tell us, okay, I'm doing it, but my way of doing is this. So I think that kind of will ease out the stress of the parents also.
Yeah, I think clear communication between both parties is really important.
Very important. And what is your expectation from school system, like your mentors, Eden, during the exam time, other than giving notes, question banks, or anything what they are really helping? And I'm sure every school and every mentor is doing it. But what is it one thing that you feel if it is done, then probably we'll be more prepared for this?
Give us more papers. So I feel like a lot of teachers give you the paper pattern in the syllabus and they say you'll get these marks of questions. But if you give us more structured practice papers like you do for the 10th and 12th graders, for 9th and 11th, I feel like it's equally important to have those practice papers because otherwise we have to source them on our own and they're not as available as the ones for 10th and 12th.
Okay. More practice of writing papers. Yeah.
I would say that the setting up of an environment where the child feels comfortable to come and talk to you at any point during the course of their preparation time. Because some teachers, what they do is, I don't know, something might happen and they might snap at the child. Oh, why are you asking me this now? We cleared this so many times before. And that might create some type of tension between the student and the teacher. So I think try to have a comforting and inviting environment is a really important thing for the teachers to do for the students.
See, I feel like even just pass your papers, I feel like sometimes a few teachers avoid giving past year papers to 11th grade students, and I think they help a lot because they have similar questions and everything, and it becomes easier for us to understand what we have and get a better sense of it. And I think a lot of kids are usually a little embarrassed to ask doubts in the answers because there are a lot of people and everything. So maybe clearing the doubts a little personally and a different session.
In time and slot him it up, especially during the exam time. Okay. Now I'm speaking from adults' point of view. It is also thought that we as mentors, give a lot of question papers, practice papers, and all. But I think some kids like you probably would answer, but otherwise it goes into waste basket. Right? They don't even try manage looking it from the point of view it's a practice or time management skill or what is happening. So probably there is a perspective what you feel is this, and probably adults feel okay. There's no point because now everything is available on net, right? But I now again would want to tell everyone that even if it is a new age of digital, everything around, students still want that personal touch. Yes, they want us to give them the papers. They want to do the writing practice. Much it is the conviction, I say, that they don't want to write.
Yeah.
Right? So you're all willing to write. Yes. Provided we are firm on purifying. Like
If the person is clear about the goals that they want to reach, and if they're willing to do what it takes, then they will do everything that is necessary. Right? Yeah.
it depends on clearing doubt. Again, another perspective that when the mentors were asking, if you have any doubt, please ask, then probably there is no response, right?
Yes.
But now is the, end of the year and the stress levels are, teachers are also, I'm speaking from the, teachers' point of view, that they're as much stressed as those 35 or 40 students are in the class because they also have worked for almost, a year's time and trying to understand every child's way of learning and all. But having said that, it would be a good idea to have that, time only for doubt clearing, right? And asking the child, okay, when are you comfortable after school, for school, or, maybe a break time, because it's not always possible to stay back and get the doubts cleared. Very good thought. Now, the last one is, right? I start with you now. Yes. So the last one is that what is that one message to self-motivate the friends who are listening to us and in school, that you need not to always be extrinsically motivated, because parents keep telling that becomes little too nagging for the spirits. But what is that one thing one should try to self-motivate to study and to like we were talking about the career goals, doing well, too good in life, something like that. If you want to,
I'm sure like everyone has somewhat a materialistic dream to look forward to. So if you keep thinking about it, I think it will just come to you that I need to study for this. Like, I think some person might want a car, someone wants a Ferrari. How will I get a Ferrari if I will study? So they'll go home and study. Okay, and yeah, that's the only motivation people need, their dreams.
yeah.
I would say independence is a huge factor personally, because somewhere around, when you turn 15, 16, 17, you come to the realization that it's your own life and you have to live it yourself. It's in your hands. But that doesn't necessarily have to be scary. So if you look at it from the other point of view that, oh, it's my own life. If you do it right, by working for it properly, working towards your goals, you can live one of the best lives possible and leave this earth without having any regrets. So I think that should be a goal where people, motivate themselves to study for a better life.
Very profound. Yeah. Yes.
For me, at the end of the day, it's going to be you versus you. Whatever marks you get, whatever grades you get, fine. You'll get into a school, you'll get into a college, you'll land a job or internship as well. But the thing is, a good grade never made you feel bad. Okay. So as long as you motivate yourself to do better than you were last time, and remember that your potential is only as much as you limit it to be, I feel like you can motivate yourself to do a lot more than you're doing currently.
You've left a very nice message that it's not like a person telling you do it because it's good for you. You realizing that it's good for me is more important.
Yeah.
Whether for all the material and the much desired things in the world which you want, better life, everything, whatever you want and have seen people enjoying. If you want it for yourself, you have to take this one step of being hardworking, being aware of that this hard work is going to pave way to what I want to live like. And also very profoundly that internal happiness, I'm going to get out of it, right? I remember you said I'm my own bully.
Yes.
I don't let myself take or rest till the time I achieve it. So ultimately, it's I, me, myself when it comes to achieving things, yes, right? Yes, the environment around, the people around, and of course, the consciousness of doing well works, greatly to finally get to success, which you're all working for, right? So I understand what you all have said is you're all nervous, right? But you also said that being nervous at this point is also okay if you have already worked hard for that, right? You have also said a nice message to the parents and the others around. We are worried because we are working towards it. Probably our base a little different, for which we need to have conversations and say, I'm doing this because this is helping me with this. Sometimes talking to friends is not only about, as you said, studies, but also to share, are we all on the same page in terms of degree of stress? Yeah, that's also important. Another, yes, at school level, we need to give a little more time for doubt clearing and maybe more practice, which will help you. And right in the beginning, they spoke about study skills. And it's very important that we all are aware of our way of study. Every individual is different. I have only 3 perspectives. I know there are lakhs and lakhs of students who are writing exams and are stressed. So take it easy. Nothing is going to change if you have worked hard towards it. Thank you. God bless you. I'll meet again.